show name for the file for the podcast to be 53 Laters We Learn the Truth About Dallas. Will it be 53 We Learn the Truth About Vegas? And I've been given info that I'm not been allowed to give out where it's very dangerous information, but I don't violate sources, so I can't talk about it. But the official story is not true, obviously. And it was, what do you think about it?
About Vegas, or my second question?
No, Vegas, go ahead.
You know, one thing, there's a lot of angles, and it's amazing seeing the hive mind network and the back and forth banter between the establishment, deep state, and the deep citizenry. But also, one angle I didn't notice.
Oh my God, hold on. I'm putting you on hold. Look at Aces going on here. I meant to call the show today, because when I'm on air, I'm a lot smarter. Every day. I was going to come in here and say, they've got their deep state of we have the deep humanity, the deep citizenry, and the caller just said it. It was meant metaphysically to happen. This is incredible. Stay with us. The next segment.
You deserve a deep, restful sleep with Knockout by InfoWars Life. Known ingredients.
Yep, there's promo.
Super Blue, fluoride-free products. InfoWars Life brings you a revolutionary toothpaste blend with iodine instead of
state of the world. I realize deep state is just criminal networks within the bureaucracy working against the country, using it, feeding off of it because they don't understand the whole Renaissance expansion pro-human model. And that truly, those of us that love America, of every color, of every creed, who have red blood, who are one race, humanity, who believe in open free societies, who know that the West has been the greatest example of that, and who love all the other cultures as well, but that recognize that Western culture is not a hate crime. It's been a great attribute. When you pull back from that, and you think about the fact that we are the deep state, when we hold on to our culture, when we hold on to our ideas, when we hold on to the Bill of Rights, we hold on to self-defense, we hold on to masculinity or femininity and all that made our species great. We don't let these corporate technocrats manipulate our lives and fully take control of us. We are in an act of rebellion against a scientific takeover. And it's so fundamental. And it's so empowering to realize that and to become conscious of the psychopaths and their sociopath minions that know how humans work, but don't look at marvel at our species and want to empower us collectively, but instead bring collective bondage, want to control us. That's the big secret. The psychopaths are farming us. Wild in Wisconsin, make your point. Go ahead.
My point regarding Vegas, or the second question?
The point you made about the true citizen deep state. Remember that statement?
All the time, even before recording time, we've glad over and over again in endless brutal battles and weary wars. Just like that 16 beer 4 a.m. Australian caller said, conformists and non-conformists and defectors. We all know who they are conforming to and what we are defecting from. The evil and inverted conformity that always yield the same crop. But regarding Vegas, one angle I haven't seen discussed was that Vegas is also known for its huge amounts of untraceable cash. And with all those shootings all over the Strip, it begs the question if there was some sort of heist. We have witnesses from all around.
Oh, absolutely. There was some giant criminal operation. It was a cover-up. Great points, Wild. Sorry, I was coughing earlier. Carlos in Bolivia. I got to run, but I wanted to get to you. What's your point real quick, Carlos?
Yes, okay, Alex, amazing, thank you for the work. One of the guns that killed Kennedy was a Mauser that was, which was German made, that the caliber only went to Argentina, okay? You probably know that, only went to Argentina. So from Argentina, Mr. Martin Bormann took it to the U.S., okay? And it's a great job that you are doing. Not only the United States, Bolivia, the rest of the world are in the hands of these Nazis that went underground, and also the Stalinists that get in bed with the petro-Islamist terrorist assassins.
The Nazis are allied with the EU and the Muslims. What do you make of it coming out that Hitler was in South America and protected in these documents? Wow, huh?
Yes, I already had information about that in the year 2000. So that's not a surprise.
We'll do this. Call me back tomorrow. I promise. We'll put you on hold, Carlos. I want to hear from you. Everybody else, I got to go to this report right now. Stay with us. We'll be back. Infowars.com, newswars.com. Amazing reality. All this stuff coming out. It's unbelievable.
People have to be made to feel uncomfortable, and especially white people, because we're comfortable. We still have no clue of what being born white means. And if you read some of the, recent literature, you'll realize it really is no such thing as whiteness. But we kind of made it up. That's not my original thought, but it's true. And it's hard to sit down and decide that, yes, it's like you're at the 50 meter mark in a 100-meter dash. And you got that kind of a lead. Yes, because you were born white, you have advantages that are systemically, culturally, psychologically there. And they have been built up and cemented for hundreds of years.
Recently, Miami-Dade officers refused to work the Dolphins-Jets game due to the fact that they would in part be protecting protesting millionaire players hell-bent on blaming them for the brutal chaos in America. These out-of-touch pro athletes don't understand much. However, numbers are something athletes can understand. Here are the numbers from the FBI, and the numbers don't lie. The Washington Times reports more than any other demographic group, black men are paying the price with their lives, with a surging violent crime rate over the past 2 years, including a 20% jump in the overall homicide rate, even as the number of blacks killed by police declines. Using homicide figures from the 2016 FBI Uniform Crime Report, Manhattan Institute fellow Heather McDonald found that the number of black homicide victims has jumped by nearly 900 per year since the Black Lives Matter movement took root in 2014. The latest FBI 2017 crime statistic numbers show that the violent crime rate at 360.3 incidents per 100,000 inhabitants is the highest since 2012. The murder rate at 5.3 per 100,000 is the highest it's been since 2008. The same is true for rape and aggravated assault at 248.5 per 100,000 is the worst it's been since 2010. Actually, the players are causing more harm than anything else. The reality can be found in what has been dubbed the Ferguson effect. As police officers back off of patrolling high crime areas, the black-on-black homicide increases. The millionaire athletes need to swallow the truth hidden in the numbers. Black-on-black crime is fueling the side effects plaguing the innocent folks living in American war zone communities like the south side of Chicago. Far more needs to be done than foolishly protesting our anthem.
I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more people, an over-politicization of America. We're going to see people outside of sports. Now this is leaking over to the baseball. It's leaking over to hockey. It's leaking over to NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he wanted to be in solidarity with these guys. And so people are going to...
Because their bosses are saying conservatives won't punish you, they don't care, but liberals will love you, virtue signal to them, and then the mainstream media will say you're good. No, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you're an idiot. You're going to be hated by your core fans forever. And then the numbers show it, but they're still committing political suicide. Why?
Because it's a program. Because it's a program. And they know that it's not going to be ordered overnight. They know that it's a conditioning.
It's a nudging. It's a force feeding.
In fact, we should be protesting the NFL players for their epidemic of sexual assaults. John Bound reporting for Infowars.com. I set out to bring you formulations that are not only the highest quality out there, but formulas that you can use on a daily basis to give your body the natural herbs and extracts that our experts recommend. The Prostagard formula does just that, with its mixture of plant-based nutrients and antioxidants that help give your body total support. It's a hand-selected blend of saw palmetto, lycopene.
Very simple ingredient.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100. Give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our immune support infusion blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying. To believe it started the 11th, so still acted alone. The cover-up begins day one. We told you that a long time ago. We're vindicated. But of course, the big ones now. JFK files, CIA planned deadly attack in Miami to blame Cuba. False flag plan was part of Operation Mongoose. I had guests on before the year 2000 who talked about the CIA actually carrying out some of the terror bombings in the U.S. and blaming it on their political enemies. This, of course, later got declassified as Operation Northwoods. So this new declassification from the CIA gives us what was already declassified in 2000 from the NSA. Anybody can search into the term Operation Northwoods and see Infowars.com reporting on it first back in 2000, but also ABC News, CBS News, and Wikipedia. So something I've been talking about forever, being made fun of, confirmed. So Trump really released the raw files. The 2,800 files or so. Those were absolutely unredacted, unbelievable. I can't believe he did it. I mean, he just keeps delivering. This is truly a major sea change. And the media's been spinning it. Well, any president could have released it since the law was passed in 92, so Trump didn't do anything. They think you're stupid. Bush Sr., the Clintons, for their 2 terms, she was basically co-president, so that's 3 terms. And then George W., that's 2 more, and then Obama, that's 2 more. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 terms, they didn't release it. And then Trump does it, and the media's like, oh, he did nothing. Again, he can find the cure for cancer, which, you know, they have a lot of the cures for cancers out there. Like Trump talks about, we're going to release the secret technologies. We're going to unlock the secrets of the universe. They've already unlocked a lot of them, folks. The breakaway civilization wants to have it for themselves. This is the beginning of Trump delivering on what he said he would do. This is majestic. It's so amazing. They didn't use secrecy to empower humanity. They used it to enslave us. And it wasn't the American government. It was globalist corporations that got control of our intelligence agencies in 1947 with the National Security Act. So, ultra-massive CIA staging terror attacks. And wanted to stage others. And quite frankly, Frontline on PBS 15 years ago reported on this too. And stuff I'd never known about that got declassified that I didn't find, where Bobby wanted to blow up the U.S. Embassy in Honduras to start a war in Central America. And actually his brother overrode him. So there's just a lot of craziness going on here. The Kennedys weren't perfect little angels, folks. So that's huge. Now let's get to the big one. Now this is up on Infowars.com and Newswars.com as a video report. But we really ought to be, from the highest rooftops, yelling out, the U.S. Surgeon General did the second autopsy, not just the first medical exam. They're in Dallas, and they found he'd been shot through the throat. But they did a tracheotomy that wasn't needed long after he was dead to cover it up. Everything the late, great Jim Mars and everybody else said was the case, that the JFK movie broke down with Oliver Stone, all vindicated, and all of you vindicated. But the headline's the one paragraph you need to read from the JFK assassination files that may change everything. That's from Zero Hedge. And then you read it, and it's a direct document from the FBI memo that the CIA got that had classified. And it goes on to say the Surgeon General report, which again they made classified, on the assassination stated that the first bullet entered the president's throat below the Adam's apple, clearly showing that the two persons were involved, with the first shot being fired from the bridge across the parkway in front of the car, which is what hundreds of witnesses said, and hundreds of witnesses then all died in their garages, got run over by cars, got shot in the back of the head. Continuing to further substantiate this, and then I guess their CIA and FBI contacts, there was a bullet hole in the windshield of the presidential limousine. And there's more. I mean, boom, ladies and gentlemen, here's the big takeaway. They suppressed the U.S. Surgeon General's autopsy of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy that found he was shot through the throat from the overpass, not just the grassy knoll, which is what hundreds of witnesses pointed and said they saw. Then E. Howard Hunt gets arrested in a railway car 200 yards away with the rifles. And he was only one of the most famous assassins in the world at the time. One of the most famous assassins ever, that Ethan Hunt's based on a Mission Impossible, is found with a bunch of guys dressed up like hobos in a train container filled with weapons. And they're all released hours later. And now you've got the document from the FBI and the CIA declassified by Donald John Trump in 2017. Who thought you would ever live to see this, ladies and gentlemen?
Everybody knows this.
How ultra-massive is this? How huge is it to know this and to understand this and to see this? It is just so amazing, so mind-boggling. And then it just gets more insane from there. Because I got a text message last night from Tim Kennedy, who's going to be in studio with us tomorrow, the Green Beret, famous sniper and UFC champ, a UFC heavy contender. He sent me information saying, look at this, it's all right here, everybody to see. And in the new data dump from the Central Intelligence Agency, we're going to come back and talk more about this, it's the CIA saying their operatives in South America documented that there was a huge German community that had run there with hundreds of billions of dollars for World War II, and that they were there and that Hitler was being protected, basically, and they gave this information over. And document can please, there's even a photograph, and we'll blow this up and put this on screen when we come back in the next segment. But this is simply amazing. So there it is on Tim Kennedy's Twitter. I've retweeted it, Real Alex Jones, and you can read the whole thing. It's declassified by the President of the United States. So they tried to keep this from coming out, but he put it out. Oh, and there's more coming up when we return on the other side of this quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Not just that Kennedy was shot from the back and the front, as we always said. No, it's also in the FBI files that Lyndon Baines Johnson was KKK. It's all happening in front of our eyes. Everything hidden is being brought to light, just like the Bible said. The world government, the cancer viruses and the vaccine, the fluoride causing brain damage. It's all coming out. It's all coming out, all of it. It's amazing.
Hey, scholars can place.
You and all house bulls meat suitable for long time to be alive. And then what's in them? What is in the CIA's files? From what the media says is the bastion, of supposed truth, who've been lying to us for decade after decade after decade for 54 years since Kennedy was shot by multiple shooters in Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the articles, the videos, the documents are on Infowars.com. They're posted in an article titled The One Paragraph You Need to Read from the JFK Assassination Files That May Change Everything. And it is the Surgeon General's office that conducted the official autopsy on the president, saying that he was shot through the windshield in the front, into the front of the neck, out the back of his spine, just like the Zapruder film shows, before he gets shot again from the front from the grassy knoll, and the whole back of his head blows off. Anybody knows you shoot somebody with a high-powered rifle, tiny hole where it goes in, big, giant, gaping hole in the back, and sometimes it blows the whole back of the head off, because it causes a shockwave through the brain tissue that explodes out the back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, bigger than Dallas, pun intended. We don't just have the Zapruder film and the president being shot from the overpass that hundreds of witnesses watched, or the back of his head then blowing off when he gets shot in the front of the head again. No, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Surgeon General's report. That's what we have. We have the Surgeon General's classified secret report from the FBI and the CIA in these documents, page after page after page of it. Wow. What do you think the establishment thinks of that? Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined us, here's the big news. It's in the JFK files that Trump has now released in full after the CIA tried to block him on Friday. The remaining files were released, and we now know why. It was the Surgeon General's office that did the secret autopsy that's always remained classified. And they said the witnesses, the cops, all saw people shooting from the knoll and the overpass, but we've got the windshield hole from the front. That's in the front. And we've got the entry hole small in the neck and big in the back at the spine. He was shot from the front. In fact, mainly straight on from the front, and from the front at an angle, blowing the back and the side of his head off. Ladies and gentlemen, the big old giant JFK cover-up has come crashing down. Did you ever think you'd live to see it? And then let's get to the other news. Tim Kennedy, UFC star, Green Beret, Patriot, Special Forces operator, good friend of mine, sniper, is coming in studio to give us the exclusive tomorrow before he goes on a mission for months he can't get into. dealing with the Central Intelligence Agency via the president declassifying photos and documents and CIA operatives witnessing Hitler in South America and even talking to people that were working with him. And in the last 2 episodes of Hunting Hitler on History Channel, Tim Kennedy has gone down there and found German towns hidden in the middle of the mountains and all sorts of stuff, and witnesses getting in their faces when they bring it up, and people still wearing Nazi uniforms. Now, I can't get into what's coming up in the next season because I haven't even been told. But he says it dovetails with all this. I'm going to leave it right there. He is in studio tomorrow to go over all of this. This is simply incredible. But remember what I told you decades ago, because it was already declassified. So much of what I cover, the media just says I'm making up, hoping you're dumb and don't go look up the fact that it's been declassified. Here it is from the Central Intelligence Agency's homepage. Central Intelligence Agency, Operation Paperclip, the secret intelligence program to bring Nazi scientists to America. 36,000 of them from CIA.gov. So if they're going to bring tens of thousands to run NASA and run the psychology departments and psychiatry and mind wars and info war and have them basically run everything and fight the Cold War and be put in number 2 positions or number 1 positions everywhere because they were a breakaway criminal group that the deep state could fully control, but they had on a short leash. That's why they were put in charge over Americans. And they were cunning, smart, brave, whatever you want to call it, quite evil, many of them. They were brought in to run this country and create the deep state. That's why so much of our deep state looks like a Nazi operation. So anybody doubting that Hitler could have been allowed to live, well, Hitler could have been brought into South America. They found the old submarines. They found the German communities. They know thousands of Nazis went down there and were allowed to go down there if they were too hot to handle, like Klaus Barbie and Adolf Hitler and others. What adds credence to this is the Russians for 40 years said they had the skull of Hitler dug up from outside the Reich Chancellery in the bunker under it. It was genetically tested, and it was confirmed by the Russians and the West to be a woman's skull. It's not even Adolf Alois Hitler's skull. Again, if our government, if our shadow government was going to bring in 36,000 prominent Nazis to form a shadow government in the United States at the end of 1945, and only hang a few of them were prominent Nazis who they'd actually captured for show. Most of them ended up dying, cyanide pills, like Hermann Goering and others inside of their jail cells. Hermann Goering, Heinrich Himmler, you name it. Then of course they'd let Hitler escape. Because there's an old thing with the globalists and empires and royalty, to let the heads of state escape. Don't kill them, because if you ever got taken over and defeated, you don't want to be killed. Now they've ignored that in past decades, but a lot of evidence shows Hitler did live until the late 1950s, and that's what these documents show, that Hitler was photographed in 1955. This was microfilmed in 1963. And this is just some of the stuff that is in the JFK files. Absolutely intriguing. And then in closing, the KKK said it had documented proof of Lyndon Baines Johnson was a member and gave it to the FBI. Everybody already knew